Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
And it's going to be hot out today, folks.
It's hot. It's summertime.
It really is.
It's coming.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can.
I was eating Mother's Day lunch, and we went to a little place in Cowan to do that, and there was a young lady there from Florida, and she said it's just too cool up here.
Really?
She lives down in Homestead, south of Miami, and she said it's just too cool.
Too cool up here.
Cool. She was a beautiful young lady as well.
Did y'all have a good Mother's Day around your place?
We did. Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, here's my Mother's Day locu. Hardworking, strong, smart, fun, loving, a teacher, a preacher, a nurse, a cook, a friend. One that will never give up on you, always seeking your best. Every day should be her day. Mother.
Sweet.
So.
I miss my mama.
You know, I'm not one to go to the cemetery and stuff like that, but I've missed my mother over the past week more than I have in a long time. Really do. Really do.
You see a lot of posts on Facebook to that, so I'm sure a lot of people have,
You know, you always miss people that are gone at certain times, and I think more so when it comes like Memorial Day or Mother's Day or certain days. Yeah. You
know, we it's kind of funny. I have a contact point with my parents, both of who are gone, and they lived at 444 Hood Drive. And after Mom passed away, I would be driving down the road, and I was on the road a lot at that time, and I'd be driving down the road, and I'd glance over at the radio and at the clock in the car, and it'd be 444. Or I would wake up in the middle of the night and look at the clock, and it would be 444. And I thought, well, okay, that's my cue.
Yeah.
And so, and still to this day, if I'm back in the computer room working on something and I happen to look at my thing and it's 444, I take a minute and I
think about your mama.
And I have a little conversation with Mom and Dad.
Yeah,
you know, I figure that's my portal. Mm-hmm. You know, that's my entry point, and I just use it, and I don't know whether it gets anywhere or not, but it makes me feel better.
That's good.
You guys lived at that address for a long time.
Hood Drive, 444 Hood Drive. Sure did. So speaking about that and mamas makes you think about love, doesn't it?
I guess so.
Well, you loved your parents, and they loved each other, and we should love one another. What would love say?
What would love say?
If love could talk.
Love would say, get up, get moving, quit whining.
If love could talk, what would it say? Tell hate to get out of the way. Search for Cupid's arrows flying through the air. Spend more time without underwear. Purge those who covet despair. Purge those who covet despair. Find those in need of care so when they suffer, you'll be there. Wake up each morning embracing the day. If love could talk, that's what it would say.
I like that. Especially if the first without underwear.
Spend more time without underwear.
That was a pretty good line there.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of it, too.
It rhymed.
It rhymed.
I put it in there, yeah.
So, what about the Predators?
Oh, my gosh, they're just making it to the top and everything, aren't they?
There are more people talking about hockey, and you hear people say, I don't know anything about hockey, but I'm interested in it right now just because of what's happening.
This is going to be really. They've done really well since they've been in Nashville, but this is really going to put them over the top. As far as spurring interest in that sport, because a lot of people don't know a lot about hockey around here, but obviously if you do, you're an avid fan.
You're an avid fan, that's right.
And the ones in Nashville, have you ever been to one of those games?
No, have you?
No, but I have some friends who have been, and you talk about if you don't like the game, it doesn't make any difference. There's a rock and roll band playing up here in the stands behind you.
Oh, really?
What happens in the stadium is like a variety show.
Oh, for heaven's
There's
sakes.
something going on all the time. Loud music.
So it's a huge experience.
It is a huge
I love
experience.
it. That's good.
And
So have you ever been?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm planning on going though at some point.
It's really unbelievable how far we've come here, because you remember there was a time when we didn't have professional football and certainly not professional hockey, and there was some question about whether professional hockey would work in Nashville or not because of, it's not as popular as football or something like that. But it certainly has.
And we have our friend David Pennington here with us today, who's going to talk about some stuff. And we were having a discussion earlier about how people in the community and businesses, and we need to know about who our neighbors are and stuff. But how businesses help buy into a community and plow back into a community, profits that they're making because of that community. And that's what a lot of that success of the Predators in Nashville is due to big business buying into that and saying, okay, we're going to bring it to Nashville. Well, it's going to be a success.
Sure.
And we're gonna put some money behind it and buy however many tickets they need to buy for their company, and because a lot of those big companies make huge amounts of money,
and they buy blocks of tickets and send people in there.
Yeah,
which is a nice thing to
it's
do.
wonderful. It's just wonderful. We need more people like that.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody out there want to fund something? We need some here. Call the folks over here at P-Head Productions, Channel 6 Television, who've been giving you local television and news for 25 years, and say, I'd like to make sure y'all stay around.
Exactly.
Because
That's
people
what it
don't
takes
understand.
money. Yeah.
People don't understand that we don't write grants. We don't have government money. We have to get our money by selling
by
advertising
sponsors
one
and
sponsor at a time.
You can't go out and just beg money.
No, and the more big box stores and stuff there are that move in that don't keep their profits in town. They and a lot of them advertise nationally, and the moms and pops are shrinking, and they can't fund everything. So if you have any extras, send it our way. We'd love to have it, wouldn't we, Jim?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Of course you would.
Absolutely.
Did you go on stage last night with 1776?
No, I was on television last night with
okay.
Tennessee Traveler.
But you'll be on stage tonight?
I'll be on stage tonight.
With your long hair?
With my long hair.
Is that happening now?
It's happening.
We're on stage.
We're on stage. It happens the first week in June.
Yes.
I see.
4 days.
So there have been events on stage at South Jackson that have kept us from being able to take the stage over. We've been practicing in other rooms, but now the troupe is actually on stage and sets are being put together, and so that way you can stage it where you're going to be, where you're going to sit, where you walk, and what you do.
So,
are you able to share with our audience the gist of what the play is about? Or
well, the play 1776 is about the Continental Congress and what had to happen for the United States of America to break from England
and form a constitution.
and write a Declaration of Independence.
I see.
And you don't realize how politics have always been politics. And it was a very, very, if it wasn't for the tenacity of John Adams, this country would have never been formed, because he overcame some things there that were just almost unsurmountable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great piece of history that people need to review.
Do you, in your assessment, do you think it worked better at that point than it does now, or
politics?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was the same. I mean, every vote, pretty much the same, except for one thing: being a politician wasn't a full-time job. Mm-hmm. You were a public servant.
Right.
And
the probably got no pay.
And the difference between being up there and writing what the difference between the government and the governed was very much different than it is now. There was most of these people were states' rights people. I mean, they wouldn't. Some of them didn't want to form this nation because they didn't want a central force to be controlling what happens in South Carolina or North Carolina, and that's what made this battle to get everybody
call in
together.
And get your ticket.
Yeah, because it sounds very interesting.
Oh, and it's funny. There's a lot. There's a lot of wonderful music in it. Peggy is the orchestra leader. And how many pieces are in the orchestra, Peggy?
I think 16.
16. I mean, it's a full deal. It's been on Broadway. It's been on movies on television. 1776, and we have some really great. It's 22 men and 2 women. And I'm Joseph Hughes from North Carolina.
Okay.
And one of the things Mr. Hughes is worried about are the fishing rights off the coast of North Carolina. and if we don't stay with the King of England, then what will happen to the fishing rights off the coast of North Carolina?
And so that's
one of the things that I'm very, very, very worried about. And I also am very subservient to the peacock, Mr. Rutledge from South Carolina. I defer to him in most every decision, which is really not the thing I personally would probably do.
I love your southern drawl.
So I find it hard. It's foghorn and leghorn.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages, folks.
The Russell Barnett Automotive family has launched its new Owner Advantage program. It starts as simple as your first year's maintenance is included with the purchase. We have 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plans available. Car detailing, car rental, collision repair. Stop by one of our 5 locations and let one of our certified sales staff tell you all about it. The Russell Barnett Automotive Family Advantage program. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Every year, South Jackson Civic Center is gracious enough to allow the City of Tullahoma and the police department to hold a police memorial there and to honor those who have died in the service protecting us in our local area. And that happened yesterday, and we brought this video to you. It's a very, very, very good event. Try to get there next year.
Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the May 15th Police Memorial Ceremony, recognizing officers that have died in the line of duty. Many of you have a program, and you'll see that in 1962, by presidential proclamation, May 15th of each year was designated as Law Enforcement Memorial Day, and the week that it fell in to be designated Police Memorial Week. So this year we're celebrating from yesterday through Saturday as Police Memorial Week, and encouraging everybody to take a moment to think about their local law enforcement and to tell them thank you for the job that they do.
It's all a privilege to be here today. Thank you, Chief Blackwell, for inviting me to say a few words and offer a prayer on this special day as we remember those fallen heroes in law enforcement. Each and every day, men and women in the law enforcement put themselves at risk to keep us as Americans safe and secure. Most every one of them return home safe every night to their loved ones, but there are some that are called upon to make the ultimate sacrifice. It is a heavy burden that every police officer accepts willingly. They know that without courage, there would be no security, and without their sacrifice, there would be no justice. As our former president, George W. Bush, said, it takes a special kind of person to serve in law enforcement. Most people run from danger, but law enforcement officers run toward it. So today, we're here to honor the memory of those who gave their lives in the line of duty. These brave men will live in our hearts forever as examples of the best that our country has to offer. May God bless them and their families, and may God bless all of you who serve and the families that wait and watch for your return every night. This time I'd like to invite Fran Gray to come up, and she's going to sing God Bless America.
Please join me in singing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you.
So many of y'all have come to this ceremony for several years, and what you find is that it hasn't changed much. When I was looking over the program last week and making some last-minute changes, I said to myself, said I to me, this is the same program we've used before. The names are still the same, and pretty much it's the same. What the people are here is the same as what we've done before. But then I took the opportunity to say a silent prayer and to say thank you, so that we didn't have to make any change. If we had to make change, that would mean there's probably another name that we would have to add on the wall in Washington, D.C., another picture we'd have to put on the easels behind us, or another name and picture that you find in your program. So this is one of those times where I'm very thankful to say no change is good change. But we are here to recognize 5 officers that gave the ultimate sacrifice to the citizens of Tullahoma. And as you'll see, we have a memorial up here that has each of their names and the date of their death. But it shouldn't just be a name and a date on a rock. It should be a memory that we should all remember what these officers did for this community in so many years ago. But it could happen today, it could happen tomorrow. And it's many times that we know when we go out, we don't know what our day holds. But what we call a good day is when everybody goes home safe. We call it an excellent day when everybody goes home safe and we've impacted someone's life in a positive way during our tour of duty. So we must always thank our officers because they don't know what their day holds. We have a wonderful crew in Tullahoma. We have a wonderful crew in Manchester and a wonderful sheriff's office that each and every day we put our equipment on, our uniforms on, and we go out to serve. And as was said earlier, when there's danger, we run to it. When they say who will go, we say I will go. So with that in mind, we'd like to say thank you to all of our law enforcement, all of our first responders, because nowadays, being a firefighter and a police officer carries some of the same dangers that normally we would associate just with police officers. Our ambulance people are even being subjected to things that years ago we would not have thought of. At this point, I'd like to invite our newest officer to our department, Officer Clayton Harper, is going to take a wreath and place it at the memorial. So if you'll please stand while he does that. Thank you for taking a few moments to reflect on these 5 officers and others that you have known throughout your lives, your family, that have served unselfishly for this community and other communities.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is, The Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is, The Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
A world without breast cancer is a world with more birthdays. And signing up for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk will help us get there faster. The American Cancer Society invests in groundbreaking breast cancer research, and we're part of every community. In fact, 1 in 2 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer turns to us for support. Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org. Together, we can finish the fight against breast cancer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're very pleased today to have joining us on the set David Pennington. And I started to say Mayor Pennington because he was mayor of Coffee County for many years. However, a lot of you know him as the proprietor, he still is the proprietor, I guess, of the Jiffy Burger over there in Manchester.
Well, you know what I tell people, Jim? The reason I ran for mayor, my wife and daughter got together and kicked me out of the Jiffy Burger.
Oh, they kicked you out? Yeah.
So I had to get me one of them government jobs. And everybody, they get a big kick out of that. But you're right. My wife and daughter run it now, but I still go up there on Sundays.
Yeah.
Do the hamburger patties, slice 150 pounds of tomatoes for them, you know, that kind of stuff.
Ooh, wait a minute, 150 pounds
Yeah,
of
that's
tomatoes?
just to start them out for the week.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. You know, what I found about my wife and daughter, they don't mind at all that I do all that work.
They don't.
They don't bother them. They don't mind me coming
you know,
and doing it.
And I got to say, for a lot of you folks who may have aspirations to either own a bar or a restaurant, there's a lot of work that goes into that. It's a lot more
I
work
compare it to a milk barn. What do you say? That's 7 days a week.
Yes, it is.
Even if you're closed today, it's still 7.
Exactly.
Like those cows, they don't get a day off.
That's right.
They still want to give you that milk.
That's right. That's exactly right. What have you been doing? It's been a couple of years since you've been in office.
Well,
I know you've got lots of hobbies to stay
We got
busy
a lot of
with.
stuff going on. You know, we just finished the Tennessee Crossroads segment up at the restaurant.
Right.
And what they did a 30-year difference. 30 years ago, they done a story about Jiffy Burger, and so they wanted to come back and do another one.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did, and it turned out really well. We have a lot of response from it. I think it's about the work Tracy and Nancy and the crew to death. I mean, there's no break time now.
Right.
Of course, there never was, really. And then, you ever watch Duck Dynasty?
I have, yes.
Okay, well, Sadie Robertson and a country music gentleman was up there. They spent a couple weeks ago shooting a music video in Manchester, and one of the scenes was in the restaurant. And so Sadie and the country music boy, can't remember his name now. That's sad, isn't it? But anyway,
it's okay.
But anyway, they shot that scene there, and which was a good thing. And then, you know, in December of 2016, the American Pickers came, and we shot The Warehouse. And so, as far as I know, that's going to air in June.
That's what I was going to ask you. So maybe next month.
Yeah. So
right.
Because I seen a new segment last night. And it was where they was in the northeast part of Tennessee. So, you know, they do segments like Tennessee, Alabama, wherever. So once they start the Tennessee segment, ours should be any time.
Right.
Matter of fact, the producer of the show, we had to sign another release because they get several. I ain't gonna say several hundred, but a lot of photographs we had to send them of the family.
Right. And this is something that I'm sure is right down what you do. It's right down your alley.
Oh,
and so you didn't have a hard time communicating with these guys, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, that's one thing they said. They said we didn't have to do no retakes, you know. Which, you know, we're used to doing that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Swapping and trading.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. I've seen you do that before. You
know, one thing I always wished I'd said something to you when you was running the American Legion about the time that you closed her down and soda. You remember that entrance and exit sign, the Coca-Cola Arrows?
Yes.
Whatever happened to them?
I honestly don't know.
You know, those things are worth several $100s a piece.
I'm sure we didn't know that at the time. Yeah.
I'd say.
And they had been there for years and years and years.
I'd say that entrance and exit sign together, those two pieces, probably $1,500, $2,000.
Right.
And they just stuck them in there for you, didn't they?
Yeah, Coca-Cola would just put them in there.
Were they just driven in the ground, or what? Were they mounted on a stake, or what?
No, they were in there in a permanent installation, I remember. I think they had a pole on them that was actually set in concrete.
They were really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. And that was not something that we even knew enough about to take.
And you had other signs, too, inside, didn't you?
Yes, yes.
So, no telling what happened to all of them.
Well, one of the things we had inside that I really hated was we had you remember the Budweiser signs with the wagon and all the horses hooked to it? This was a lighted sign.
Oh, that's expensive.
And somehow it disappeared.
Isn't that amazing? That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do they grow legs?
I don't know. It's amazing how that happens.
There's no telling. I mean, you had a lot of not just the Budweiser stuff, but you had Coke stuff in there, didn't you? Some signs?
Yeah, Howard Holt, who was commander for many years, worked for Coca-Cola at that time, so there was a lot of Coca-Cola kind of things.
Didn't he also work for Dr. Pepper?
Howard Holt started at Dr. Pepper.
Did you have any Dr. Pepper stuff in there?
A little bit.
Not much?
A little bit, but Howard was pretty young when he worked for Dr. Pepper. Actually, Howard was a partner. He and with J.C. Morgan and a gentleman from Texas. I think his name was Moody, but the three of them owned the Dr. Pepper plant over there when it was close to the where the old Tullahoma High School was, and they actually sold that to the Enos's, and then Howard went to work for Coca-Cola.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, that Dr. Pepper, it was a good seller, though.
Yes, it was.
I'll tell you a good seller in this community is Sundrop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Golly.
Sundrop's big here.
It's big.
I remember when I lived in Atlanta, and this was many years ago, you couldn't get Sundrop in Atlanta. And so when I'd come back to Middle Tennessee, I'd stock up on it and take it back.
Well, I have a friend of mine that sent her kids to college. She'd have to mail them Sundrops.
Right.
I tell you, if you're a true Sundrop drinker, the best part of the Sundrop is the very first two swallows, don't you think?
Yes, it is.
Isn't it so good?
Yes, it is. I know a couple of years ago, I was on this low-carb diet, so I didn't drink the real one. I drank the diet one or whatever. And one day somebody handed me one. I thought it was the diet. It was the real one, and I took that first swallow, and I thought, oh, my goodness.
You forgot what you was missing.
I did.
I tell you what, I told somebody, if I'm going to drink a Sundrop, it's going to have to be the real thing. I don't want no diet.
Yeah, that's right.
I want the real deal.
Exactly. Speaking of which, David, since you went out of office, you've lost a few pounds. It appears.
Well, when I took office, I weighed 159, and I gained up to 193, and now I'm back down to 159. Yeah. I'm ready to run for office again.
I was going to ask you. You've been out here doing what you wanted to for the last couple of years. And do you have aspirations to get back in public service?
Matter of fact, this fall I'm going to pick up my papers and run for mayor again.
I see. Okay.
And I'll tell you something. I enjoyed representing Tullahoma. And I was born and raised here, so.
A lot of people may not know that, but you are from.
Even though I live in Manchester, I have a vested interest in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I tried. Well, I'm still on the Heart and Hospital Board over here. I love that. I love Heart and Hospital.
Right.
I think they do a lot for this community.
And you obviously love serving the public, I would think.
Oh, I do. Somebody asked me about that. I said, if you don't care about the people, then you don't need to be running. You don't need to be running for public office, because you sure don't do it for the money.
No, that's true.
I told when I was up there in office, I averaged between 300 and 800 a week that I would, give away. And somebody said, "Are you sure of that?" I said, "Well, I asked Roxanne. She was right there when these people would come in. We buried a lot of people, just all kinds of stuff, and all kind of community activities." He was talking about it earlier about you need to get back to your community.
Yes.
I didn't take that office so I could make a lot of money.
Right.
I want all of our community to do well. You know that while I was mayor, we generated almost just a tad less than 3,000 jobs. And that was with the downturn of the economy.
That was a big part of that.
That's a pretty good deal, wasn't it? Yeah.
Amazing. So if you're picking up papers in this fall, will you be running next year?
Yes.
2018?
Yes. You have the primary in the spring, and then, of course, the primaries in the spring, and then the general elections in the fall, August.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because, I never quit. If you call it campaigning, I never have quit, because I told you earlier that I'd been to benefit last week, and this coming Saturday I got to go to 2 different things. But I don't go to them because of the politics. I go to them because of the people,
right?
Which I think makes a difference,
right?
And that's what you should do.
You
do
think,
it for the people.
You think you got any benefit from hanging out in the restaurant business up there for a while?
I think that helped me a whole lot.
I'm quite sure it does. They tell me we're out of time, and we've got at least 3 more days we can spend talking about all this kind of stuff.
Right.
David, thank you so much for stopping by today. We're going to have to do this more
Yes,
often.
sir. Anytime.
Right.
You just give me a call.
David, by the way, has his own show on here on Charter 193. It's called Talking About Antiques.
Yeah, let's talk antiques.
That's right. So
which we've been doing for 18 years.
Yeah, he knows a thing or two about antiques. Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more Living right after this.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them, and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paint Works at 1960 North Washington Street, and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fixes you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Cool off this summer at Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. Free 25-foot slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items are available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 5. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch. And John, we've hit the summit. This is segment 50. Of the conversation with John and Pat.
Well, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about my aunt and uncle over in Chapel Hill. And I'm going to do a little Amazing Grace for that song.
All right.
Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace the hour I first believed. I like this. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Than when we first begun. Amazing Grace.
Isn't that great? That was a fine one, John.
That's a good song.
It certainly is. Who's the author? Was that Isaac Watts? Was that
No,
right? What was his
he
name?
was a slave.
Slave trader.
Captain, trader, or whatever, and he found God and wrote that beautiful song right there. That would be, that's the most noted song, I guess, of all hymns.
Mm-hmm.
And today I'm going to tell a little bit about my Aunt Dot and Uncle Johnny. Aunt Dot was just a lovely lady. She was sweet, and she had a lot of wit about her, and she loved all her nieces and nephews.
Let's make sure we get this everybody already oriented, though, John. Now, she is your mother, Catherine's
sister.
Second
in row. My mother was oldest. She still lives. She's over 100.
100 years old.
Aunt Dot lived in maybe late 60s, early 70s. I don't really know. But Aunt Dot, put that picture up there, Philip, of the fish. Now, that's my Aunt Dot in the middle. That's Uncle Johnny on the left. He was a World War II veteran.
And his last name was Moore.
And she married.
Was he originally from Chapel Hill?
She married a Moore. Who?
Johnny? Was John?
Johnny was from Hardison Mill. That's a little place. That's a suburb of Chapel Hill, you might say, Pat.
Huh.
Near Pottsville, over that way. And then that guy on the right there, it's Frank Freeman, and I think he operated some sort of radio shop or whatever. But I guess they had been down to Duck River, and they caught a mess of fish.
It looks like they've had a big time.
They had a big time. And Aunt Dot, sweetest thing, she was she treated all of her nieces and nephews like grandchildren, you might say. We were all special to her, and she was very kind to me. And I remember one time.
Well, Christmas just be double good then, wouldn't it? Yeah.
No, she never did give me any presents. Let's don't go too far, Pat. But she was a wonderful person. She worked at the drugstore. She I can't remember where all she did work, but Johnny worked at the gas company in Chapel Hill.
Well, did she live kind of downtown in Chapel Hill?
Downtown,
or did she live out
downtown near Chapel Hill, in Chapel Hill.
Okay.
And that house, I see, it was a brick house, pretty nice house. Johnny cooked fish all the time. He cooked, he'd catch a mess of fish like that, and he would always fry. He fried everything. And and he lived up in his 80s, but they had the pine boards.
Did he fry Oreos before that came in vogue?
Probably, but I mean, you could go around the walls and he just loved grease. He loved lard, I guess. But Aunt Dot, when she was about to, she found out she was going to pass away. She had cancer and she was about to pass away. And, they went on and on for a long time with treatment and this sort of thing. And finally, she realized that she didn't have many days left to live. And she, along with her husband, decided, well, we'll buy a stone and place it down there at Swanson Cemetery for you when you pass away. Then Johnny, when he passes away, you'll have that there for him. Well, Aunt Dot wanted to see that stone, but she was so deathly ill that she had to stay in bed. Only this could happen in Chapel Hill. The man from the monument company backed the truck right up to Aunt Dot's window at her house, and she was able to see her monument. Wasn't that great?
That is great.
Then they took it on down to Swanson Cemetery and set it, and put up that picture there, Philip of 8 Dot. That was her. Look at all the flowers.
That's incredible. That's at Swanson's?
That's at Swanson, and she was loved by so many people around Chapel Hill.
Swanson's is the main cemetery now in Chapel
That's
Hill.
right.
That's where both of John,
all the
your parents
Rickmans,
are,
a lot of Rickmans and
or your
Johnses.
daddy's buried there, and your mother will be.
Yeah. And so that was a wonderful thing, and Aunt Dot got to see her monument. Another thing, Uncle Johnny now, after Aunt Dot passed away, he had the house to himself, and he set up sort of a flea market inside. I remember one time I came down there, and I knew I was probably going to have to buy something, either it be some sort of colored jar or whatever. He had all kind of displayed, on tables around. It's almost like an indoor flea market inside his house. And I guess he felt like that anybody that come to visit him, they had a little extra cash, maybe they could, and felt sorry for an old woulda fella like him. So,
and he'd be you were fair game then, is what you said when you went to his house.
So I went to see him one day, and he had an old guitar over there, maybe an old Stella, a Silvertone. It wasn't much count. But so I went over there, and I was going to help old Uncle Johnny out, and I said, what do you want for this, Johnny? He said, I want $10. So I said, I'll buy it. So I bought it, put it in the trunk of my car, went down to see my mom and daddy when they were still living in Chapel Hill. And I said, I went to see Uncle Johnny, and what did he try to sell you? Because she knew exactly what kind of guy he was. And I said, well, I bought a guitar from him. She said, oh, no, I wished you hadn't done that. He bought that at our yard sale for $1. We tried to give it to him.
That's a great story.
Now,
and John, you're not one normally to be captured quite like that.
I let my compassion get away from
That's
me.
right.
But Mr. Osteen, who was principal over at East, his daddy passed away, Kermit Osteen, and
which Osteens are all from Chapel Hill.
All from Chapel Hill too, and we were over at Lawrence Funeral Home, and Uncle Johnny was telling that story to Dr. Emery, this one and that one. They all came from Tullahoma to visit, on the visitation night. And Johnny had them gathered around. He was telling them that story about me getting beat by him in that trade. Oh, they laughed at me.
Oh,
of course, I went
story.
Right along with it. Yeah. I've always been the goat on a lot of things like that. Still am. But anyway, that's my Uncle Johnny. Oh, by the way, Uncle Johnny died with fish in the sink, and the water was running. He had a heart attack in his 80s, and he passed away, and the water was running in the sink. He was ready to clean some fish.
Now, you getting ready to come back. We got kind of off kilter there. It sounded like to me you were going to talk about somebody else from Chapel Hill that wanted to see their grave before they exited this world. Remember our friend George Orr?
Oh. We were at Rotary
one day.
Where you been, George?
He came in about halfway in, make a grand entrance, and plopped down. And somebody said, "Where you been, George?" And he said, "I've been to set my tombstone." He said, "Do what?" And he'd actually been he wasn't Swanson's, but it was out in Farmington at the cemetery out there.
Yeah.
And he not only did he not want to, he wanted to see his tombstone like Aunt Dot did. He wanted to see it placed where he was going. So he did, and I don't know, but maybe he thought Laura may not dispose of him in a nice way, but he wasn't going to let that to chance. He was going to see the stone and see where it was.
I'm glad we got to know Aunt Dot, Johnny, Frank Freeman, George Orr. Good folks.
only in Chapel Hill, sports fans. And that concludes segment 50.
5-0.
John, there's a chance we have talked to management, and they're thinking after we've hit 50 that we might have a John and Pat Conversations Marathon similar to Andy Griffith Mayberry Marathon. So if you people out there see management, if you'd ask them, any way you could do a John and Pat Marathon, we'd appreciate it. And that concludes 50. Thank y'all.
We ended up begging.
That's right.
I can't history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
The Animal Shelter has served Tullahoma dogs for nearly 30 years. Now, you can help us build a bigger and better no-kill shelter. Your tax-deductible gift is matched dollar for dollar, so come on, bark it forward and donate now to have your tax-deductible gift matched. Make your check payable to the COT Shelter Building Fund and go to tullahomatn.gov to see all the unique gifts available for your generosity. For more details, you can call City Hall at 455-2648.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh, gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse. You need a claim number? Her personal assistant. Let me just grab her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with my lovely bride today. She stopped by to see me, and I always love it when she does. Miss Fran is here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the PACT group at South Jackson Civic Center and a couple of things that are going on in their life and what's that in the life of all these lovely young people in our area.
Yes, I'm excited to talk about PACT. I like to talk about any and everything at South Jackson.
What does PACT stand for?
PACT. P-A-C-T stands for Performing Arts for Children and Teens.
There you go.
And I think it's about 12 years old now. Mm-hmm. And it was born out of the need and desire of some young people to perform on stage, performing theater. And right. They came to us and said, we want to do a show. We want to perform. We want to have our own special activities. And with that, Colleen Saunders and Melissa Sharan put together a program, and it has continued these 12 years. And a very integral part of the program is a camp in the summer. And this summer is no different. We're having 2 weeks of PACT camp. Camp Impact.
That's great.
Yes. And we're very excited about it. Impact.
And what year? That's been going on now for what? 4 or 5 years?
Oh,
or
longer
more?
than that.
More than that? Yeah.
It was running when I started working at South Jackson 8 years ago this month.
Well, very good.
Mm-hmm. But the camp is a great opportunity for children and youth to come and learn about every aspect of theater. They meet for 2 weeks in the mornings, and this year it's June 12th through the 23rd. They can be dropped off about 20 till 8. The camp itself begins at 8 o'clock and runs until noon. And during that time, they will be grouped by their ages and abilities and interests, and will learn every aspect of theater production. And many wonderful things have come from the experiences these children and youth have had. We have a great group of young adults and mature teenagers who help counsel, who help lead them through the 2-week experience. And we offer all kinds of games, role-playing, lessons in technology, lighting and sound, acting, set building, prop finding, and making.
That's fun.
You know, to put on a show, there's a lot more than meets the eye. And anyone who has been involved in theater or a recital, any kind of performance, knows it takes many more people probably than what's on what you see. What's on stage.
Just getting the curtain opened and closed at the right time. I mean, it's very difficult stuff.
That's
and
right.
One of the things that I like about the PACT camp is over the years when I've been down there and around when it's going on. It's not all inside the building. South Jackson has a beautiful shaded campus with a lot of big, lovely shade trees, oak trees. And so you'll see little groups of kids out sitting under a tree with their counselor, and they might be learning lines, or they might be discussing something. So it's not 4 hours of being inside of an old building.
No.
They use the whole campus, and it's just delightful.
Well, it really is. And I will say, last year I remember pulling up and seeing all this outdoor activity, and it gave me a flashback, having been a student at South Jackson. I thought, oh, this is the way
recess.
It was.
This is recess.
and I hope that, and I do believe most of the children go through camp wanting more. We have families who plan their summertime around packed camp. We have children who come and visit grandparents or cousins, and they from other states even, and they come and participate in packed camp. So it's not just for Tullahoma children, it's for any child who can come and be part of it. And we start at age 5. Any child who's 5 years old is welcome to come and participate. I think in the time I've been there, we've only lost one child, and it was because she wanted more crafts than we were offering. So she went to another camp. But we offer snacks in the morning. We ask for a $50 fee, so that covers their snacks, their materials, a t-shirt, and a lot of expert instruction. And at the end of the camp, we have a showcase when the children's friends and family can come and see them perform. And I know we've had several, I'd say, big success stories over the years. There was a young man who came and loved the lighting and sound aspects of theater and went on to continue with his talents, and he has run the tech for his school ever since.
Yeah.
So I think that's wonderful.
That's great.
We have a young man who, another young man who is still very young, I think he's about 10 now, who learned lighting and has lighted several productions. Of course, he has his mom there and he has adult supervision, but he learned early on that he enjoyed being behind the light board rather than on the stage. He has been on the stage, but he prefers that. And we like to be sensitive to children's needs. Some children are a bit shy about being on stage, but once they get with their peers and learn more about it, we find some of them changing completely and enjoying being on stage. And I remember a young girl who started, she was very shy. She wouldn't look up much. And she ended up being on stage and being part of the THS Aristocats group.
Wow, there's a lot of success comes from out of there.
Yes, but again, we don't want to force a child to do something that's not comfortable for them. We want them, though, to have the opportunity to discover their talents and what they really might like that they didn't know about before.
And a lot of these young people maybe don't know that, and I want you to think about this. You've got 10 days for $50. That's $5 a day, 4 hours a day. That's $1.25 an hour, plus a t-shirt, plus food. Cheapest babysitting in the world, folks.
Well, John, it's not babysitting.
But I know that. But look at what you pay somebody to look after your children. And for $1.25 an hour, look at what you're getting here. I'm just equating what has to be spent at other times, and these kids walk away with a whole new beautiful life in front of them of stage.
That's
and
right.
Performance.
And many of them come back as junior counselors and performers. It's a great program to feed into later productions. So we invite everyone to come out to Camp Impact June 12th through 23rd. If you need some financial assistance, it's available also. And just let us know. We have registration forms in the office, and we have them online at southjackson.org. So come and see us.
You know, if that little child of yours is the light of your life, let your little light shine. Send it to the South Jackson Pack Camp. We'll be right back.
We get closer to a world with more birthdays when we take cancer patients by the hand. We help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
All right, folks, we're back, and last week I was very honored and pleased to be at the Tullahoma High School for the ROTC Awards ceremony, and it was it impacted me. It was very, very well done. And, you know, a lot of times old guys and old gals and talk about, well, these dang kids, what's the matter with these kids? They don't dress right and they don't respect anybody, and what's this next generation going to do? Well, let me tell you what. You want to find out what some of them are going to do? Next year, go to the ROTC Awards program and see how wonderful and how focused some of our young people are. And you will see some of that right now. The whole program, it was about an hour and 15 minutes long. That is on our website. You can see the whole thing and see every award by going to www.channel6, that's the number 6, thelink.com, and watch this. Please do, because you will see what some of our great young people are doing, and they're to be respected. And thank you for what you're doing, folks. We'll be back after this video.
Gentlemen, special guests, Tullahoma High School faculty and staff, parents and family members. On behalf of the cadets and the staff at Tullahoma High School, Marine Corps Junior ROTC, we welcome you to the 2016-2017 Annual Award Ceremony and Change of Command. We appreciate your support of the program and taking time from your busy schedules to attend this event. I'd also like to welcome some special guests who are here to help recognize some of our outstanding cadets and seniors. Mayor Curley, sir, thank you for showing up today. Ms. Rose, I'm glad you made it back safe, and I'm glad you're here this afternoon. Major General Robert Harris, Army National Guard, retired, American Legion Post 43. Thank you for coming today. Mr. Lyle Russell from the Joseph Greer Chapter, National Society of Sons of the American Revolution. Sir, thank you for coming. Dr. Marianne Scott, Regent, Tullahoma Chapter, National Society, Daughters of the American Revolution. And thank you for coming. Mr. Gary Benton, Commandant on the Marine Corps League, Detachment 1128, and a member of the VFW Old Stone Fort, Post 10904. Sir, thank you for coming. Lieutenant Colonel Vance Gammons, United States Army, Aviation retired, Order of the Day Dalians, Flight 102. Sir, thank you for coming today. Mr. Hirschman, Military Order of the Purple Heart, 0613 Tennessee-4 Murfreesboro. Sir, thank you for your time. Ms. Sybil Thornberry, United Daughters of the Confederacy, 30 Smith Chapter 327. Ma'am, thank you for coming today. We're honored by your presence, and we thank you on behalf of the cadets, myself, and Sergeant Major, for coming here and participating in this ceremony, as well as presenting some awards to worthy cadets.
We will now transition into our special awards to recognize the top 18% of our cadet class. Each of these awards represents something unique, while at the same time speak toward the character and efforts these cadets exhibited throughout the academic year of 2016 to 2017. Please hold your applause until all the cadets are recognized. The first two awards are sponsored and presented by the American Legion Post 43, Joseph Greer, Chapter Tullahoma. Presenting the awards is Major General Robert A. Harris, Army National Guard, retired, American Legion Post 43.
Good afternoon. I know the Marines were not ready for me to make a speech, but I'm going to make a short one anyway. I'm Alan Harris. I represent American Legion Post 43, and our motto is for God and country. And I know that all you young folks sitting out there probably think that that motto has little intrinsic value to you right now at your age. I know when I was sitting out there at your age, it had little value to me. But I will tell you this, and I'm sure a lot of the older generation out there will back me up. As you get older, the luster becomes brighter and brighter on that motto and the thoughts and the premises behind it. When the American Legion created these awards a couple of decades ago with Resolution 20 and Resolution 11 to create the Military Excellence and Scholastic Excellence Award, I believe the Legion had one purpose in mind, one primary purpose, and that was to connect us old military veterans with the young generation. And so while I believe that that connection is being made, it's not only connecting us with you, it is an outward sign of an inward feeling that we have for you. We want you to know that we love you and support you in all your efforts and what you're doing. By far, one of the biggest principles in our preamble to the American Legion motto is that we make right the master of might. And I will assure you that even though you might not feel it today, you are what's right about this country. So I congratulate you on this year. Colonel Johnson, Sergeant Major Ramirez, well done. Thank you.
The American Legion ROTC program presents this certificate to Caleb D. Fanning of Tullahoma Marine Corps Junior ROTC in recognition of the outstanding attributes demonstrated leading to the awarding of the American Legion Military Excellence Medal Bronze. The American Legion JROTC Scholastic Excellence Medal with Rebar Bronze is awarded to Cadet Sean Madden. For superior academic performance and/or achieving a Scholastic A in JROTC, this recipient ranks in the upper 10% of the JROTC class. Both Cadet Madden and Cadet Fanning are now eligible to compete for the Colonel Frederick B. Bowling JROTC Cadet of the Year $3,000 scholarship. The next award is sponsored and presented by the National Society of the Sons of the American Revolution, Joseph Greer, Chapter, Tennessee. The award will be presented by Mr. Lyle Russell from the Joseph Greer chapter.
The Sons of the American Revolution are direct descendants of those patriots that achieved the independence of the American people, and the objectives of this organization are intended to perpetuate a more profound reverence for the principles of the government founded by our forefathers. Such were the ideals of Captain Aldrin Partridge, who is considered the founder of the Reserve Officer Training Corps program in the United States. Partridge founded the ROTC because his father, Samuel Partridge, who was a soldier of the Revolution, had concern for the newly founded United States and its lacking a development resource for qualified military officers. The Sons of the Revolution support all programs that encourage historical research, foster true patriotism, and maintain and extend the institutions of American freedom. We strongly support the United States ROTC and JROTC as exemplary programs of these ideals. So it is with great pleasure, on behalf of the Joseph Greer chapter of the Tennessee Society of the Sons of the American Revolution, in recognition of outstanding leadership qualities, military bearing, and excellence, thus exemplifying the high ideals and principles of our patriot ancestors, to award Cadet Caleb Fanning the SAR Bronze ROTC Medal and Recognition Certificate.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mate. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the Cock of the Walk.
This is an American Red Cross blood donation alert. The Red Cross is experiencing a severe winter blood shortage. There is an emergency need for blood and platelet donors to give now and help save hospital patient lives. Donations are critically needed so that patients can continue to receive the life-saving treatments they need. Resolve to make a difference and help save lives by giving blood or platelets now. Use the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make an appointment.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Today we're excited to have with us a young man and a friend, Chris Pertangelo, and he is from Memphis, Tennessee, and he's here to play a gig at London's this weekend. And we just wanted to bring him in the studio for a little bit and find out a little bit about Chris and his music and how he got into it and what's going to happen for him as he goes on into the future. And Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. I'm really happy to be here.
And you're a Memphis guy.
Yes, I am.
What about the music in Memphis? Has that affected you?
Oh, yes, it has. Bands like Tora Tora and Roxy Blue, mostly that stuff from like the late 80s and 90s. That's the stuff I really got into. And of course, Elvis.
Of course, Elvis.
Yeah. Can't live in Memphis and not like Elvis.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. Been playing since what? Grade school?
Yeah, since like 6th grade.
Taught yourself?
Yeah, I taught myself to play guitar. My dad showed me a few chords and I took it from there.
So your dad, so is there, you a musical family?
Well, my dad is a really great singer, and he plays a little bit of guitar, and so he taught me to do all that. And then my brother, I taught him to play the guitar, and now he plays bass in our rock band back home. So,
okay. Yeah. So rock band, how many bands do you have?
I'm in 4 or 5 bands right now.
So making a living as a musician?
Yes, I am finally doing that.
Good for you. I heard that you just took a little trip to Germany? Yeah,
I toured Germany as the bass player in Medieval Steel, which was one of the greatest things I've ever done.
It's really good to be out doing that, isn't it? It's different in Europe, the festivals and the things that they do and the places that the music takes place.
Yeah, the people there, they just get so into it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They love American music, don't they?
Especially metal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Weird.
It's crazy. What about Nashville? I have your new CD here, "Young on the Run" by Chris, and you recorded that in Nashville?
Yes, I did. Actually, about 3 years ago, I was at Stage Stop in Memphis. That's like the bar I basically grew up in over there, and I saw a band called Tucson Simpson playing, and their frontman is Graham Perry. He's played in bands around here, and I eventually got in touch with him. And I went out to a bunch of their shows. They would have me come up on stage and play songs with them. And he would always talk about doing a record together. And we finally got around to doing it, and that's what this is. And so it's got songs that both of us wrote, and actually remakes of some of the Tucson Simpson songs that I used to go up and sing with them.
Right.
So it was a really great experience to do that with him.
You use Nashville players?
Oh, we used myself. We used Graham. John Sturdivant, the owner of the studio, was also a drummer, so he played on it. And we brought in a guy named Mike Bell to play piano on one of the songs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what do you see different? Sort of weigh the difference between the music scene in Memphis and the music scene in Nashville. Tough question.
That is a hard question. Well, obviously Memphis is a lot more blues, and Nashville is a lot more country. It seems like it's harder to get into venues in Nashville than it is in Memphis, but maybe it's just because I'm so familiar with Memphis.
Well, probably so, and plus Nashville's just exploding off the map right now. Everybody thinks they want to be somebody showing up in Nashville.
Yeah.
And the talent pool is huge.
Right.
And the doors don't open very easily.
No, they don't.
So that's good luck that you had this contact.
I've got a foot in the door now, so I'm really excited about that.
And how can someone go about getting this piece of work?
Well, I'm going to have a whole bunch of them for sale tonight when I play at London's. I think I start at 9 till 1. They'll be for sale there, and within a week or so, they'll be up on iTunes and Amazon and CD Baby and all that stuff.
All that.
Yeah, it'll be up everywhere.
So they can probably just type your name in, Google you, and find it.
Yeah, probably.
Probably so. You want to play something for us here and give us a little taste of what Chris is all about?
Yeah, sure. I can play some of the stuff off the CD, actually. This is actually, this is a song that a lot of people seem to like. It's actually called Tullahoma Daydream.
Well, wait a minute. Tullahoma Daydream?
Tullahoma Daydream, yeah.
What brought that about?
Well, Tullahoma is kind of my home away from hometown, so I've always loved coming here. It's just... So, it's hard to explain.
It's comfortable here.
It's comfortable here. It's a lot slower here. And it just inspired this song, I guess. Yeah.
Tullahoma Daydream.
Tullahoma Daydream.
You are rocking vagabond leather and blue in your second-hand high-heel boots that you bought in town at the discount store. And I know you're gonna get to where you wanna go. You got a heart built for the road and a fire that can't be tamed. Oh, I try to hold my head up high to you and know I'm nothing but a memory, but to me you're still everything. And Tullahoma ain't the same since you've been gone. Yeah, the high you had me on, it's coming down with the southern rain. I guess I found the need to change the scene. A pretty woman in a bottle won't break your memory, but it might just break me free from this never-ending Tullahoma daydream. And I remember how you used to cry, that you would curl up on the floor and die, and I would stay there with you till you smiled again. And baby, now, who's gonna catch you when you're falling down? Who's gonna love you when you're running around without a care for all you left behind? And Tullahoma ain't the same since you've been gone. Yeah, the high you had me on, it's coming down with the southern rain. I guess I found the need to change the scene. A pretty woman in a bottle won't break your memory, but it might just break me free from this never-ending Tullahoma daydream. Try to hold my head up high to you and know nothing but a memory, but to me you're still everything. I guess I found the need to change the scene. A pretty woman in a bottle won't break your memory, but it might just break me free from this never-ending Tullahoma daydream. We're free from this never-ending Tullahoma daydream.
Thanks.
I'm impressed.
I'm glad you like it.
I'm impressed. Now, what sparks your creative on the writing side? What do you latch on to that starts the wheel turning, that develops and ends up in a melody wrapped around life like that song right there?
Oh gosh, it could just be anything that touches me in a certain way.
Do you look for stuff?
No, I never look for stuff.
Or does it just, something happens and...
Something always happens.
And it just comes to you?
Yeah.
And you go, ooh,
I don't
that's
have to look
pretty
for
cool.
It. Yeah.
I wonder what I can make out of that. And for you, is that a fun and really exciting thing
Oh, yeah.
when that happens to you?
It's great fun. Actually, now that I'm working with Graham, we'll just be having a random conversation about stuff, and I'll say something that he likes, and he'll write it down.
Yeah.
And he'll later tell me, you need to put this to a song. So 1 or 2 of the songs on there actually just came from a conversation with him. And he
Right.
wrote down what I said, and he's like, dude, you got to turn this into a song. And so I would go home and do it.
Yeah. So, what do you see? How do you see your future unrolling here? I mean, I know that's a hard question to say, but what's on your mind? How would you like to see things happen for you?
Oh, just being able to make a living playing music or writing music or something with music, because I honestly can't see myself doing anything else.
Well, you're good at it.
Oh, thank you.
You're good at it. What about another one? Can you give us another? What's another one? What about the happy song? What's the happy song?
That's Enough for Me. That's one I wrote back in grade school.
In grade school?
Yeah, number 7.
And what's The Jar about?
That's about drinking a lot of alcohol till you can barely even see.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go to grade school.
Okay.
How about Enough for Me? You like that one?
I like that one, yeah.
Okay, let's do that one.
It's happy.
Yeah, we need to be happy. It's a good time to be happy.
I agree, it is.
Well, I've been riding down the same road all my life. I've never taken any more than I have to, just enough to get me by. When times are tough and life's got me down, well, I don't complain. Just thank God for what I do have every day. When life is simple, that's okay. You know I like it that way. I got all that I need. It's enough for me. Well, I'm no millionaire. I don't mind. My life's still going good. Yeah, I'm doing fine. You don't need a lot of money in order to succeed. As long as you understand the best things in life come free. And I don't need no fancy car. As long as I've got my guitar, I got all that I need. It's enough for me. It's enough for me. It's enough for me.
There's a big long guitar solo at the end that I can't play on this.
A big long guitar solo. Well, you know that I like that. I like that song right there. Just enough for me.
Yeah.
Don't take more than you need. Just what you need.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That was me back in grade school.
That's pretty cool. Well, it's it needs to be all of us all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Really, I mean that's a good way to look at life. Is to get what you need and that's all you need. Don't be greedy. Just take what you need and the rest will be provided for you. You know? That's sort of feel that way.
I agree.
Gosh, man, congratulations and
thank you so
good
much.
luck to you. Really, really glad to have you here, and I know glad to know you're going to stay familiar with Tullahoma and come around.
Definitely.
And love to hear from you anytime. Know you're always welcome.
I appreciate it.
And just good luck to you. Good luck tonight. I hope you sell a bunch of these. Chris Petrangelo, right there it is. A good Italian boy.
Right.
Right. How many generations ago?
Like 3 or 4.
3 or 4 generations ago. But it still holds true.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a good Italian boy. Huh?
It's true.
All right, Chris. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you being with us. Folks, we'll see you next time.